Good morning, students. Today we will proceed, and as we earlier done in our last video, the structure of flower for the sexual reproduction in plants. So we have studied that there is the two essential parts in the flower, that is the male part and the female part. Female part is called carpel and the male part is called stamen. Here the main generative part is the ovary and the anther. Anther where the male gametes are produced and ovary where the female gametes are produced. So further we will see what happened. As we know, anther has a large number of pollen grains. When it is completely filled and the mature, it gets burst and the pollen grain that spread all over the anther. And these pollen grains are transferred to the female part, that is the stigma. These pollen grains, they are transferred from anther to the stigma. This process is called pollination. So you can define pollination as the process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower. Now you can see pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma. Here the pollen grains are transferred by different agencies, like air can take them or the water that can float them in the water plants. Sometimes we also touch the flower and the pollen grains that get transferred by us from our fingers to the stigma of the flower. But it can happen in one flower also and in different flowers also. So on the basis of that, pollination is of two types. That is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination when there is a single flower and the transfer takes place within a flower. So the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of same flower is called self-pollination, while if it occurs in the different flowers, then it is called cross-pollination. Here the flower is different. So what happened after pollination? When once the pollen grain is shed on the stigma of a flower. Here I am making the carpel portion. Here this is the ovary having the female gamete is called egg. And here it is the pollen grain having the male gametes. Pollen grain makes a tube. For that the gamete is that get transferred from stigma to the ovary. Here this nuclei that they divide into two gametes. So here are the two male gametes. In ovary, there is one nucleus, that is egg, and helping nucleus are there. These are called synergids. One, there is a polar nuclei having the two nucleus, and three nuclei, they are called antipodals. Now, what happened to these two male gametes and the female gametes? Now, the first male gamete, which has a haploid set of chromosomes that get fused with the female gamete egg. Which is also haploid. And the second male gamete, which is haploid, that fuse with the polar nuclei. This one. Which is itself is 2n. So, when the first male gamete fertilizes with the egg, it forms embryo. Embryo, as you know, the baby plant, which develop into a new plant. And the second male gamete that fuse with the polar nuclei, that is 2n or n, it makes the endosperm. Endosperm nuclei, that is pre-endosperm nuclei, that will further develop into an endosperm. Here you can see this N and N combine to form a diploid embryo, whereas N and 2N forms a triploid endosperm. So, in this process, when the one male gamete fuse with the female gamete, it is called syngamy. Or the fertilization. While when the second male gamete fuse with the polar nuclei, it is called triple fusion, because three nuclei are fusing with each other. So here the fertilization occurs 2 times. As we can see in the above two equations, the two male gametes are fusing with the two different cells of the female part ovary. So the fertilization occurs 2 times. That is why it is called double fertilization. And this embryo and endosperm together is called seed. In this way, the seed is utilized for the further development of the further processing of the new plants. So, here you can see the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants as occurs in this way. Thank you.